Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos. But continuing with security, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase, has warned the police against mounting roadblocks, which he insists remain banned. At a meeting with commissioners of police, the IGP warned that any command under whose jurisdiction the roadblocks are found would face disciplinary action. According to the Acting Inspector General, roadblocks constitute a public nuisance and points of corruption that will not be encouraged under his administration.
While visible policing will be enhanced, I wish to, in clear terms, re-emphasize that police roadblocks remain banned. They are public nuisance, points of corruption, and source of police-citizens frictions. The commissioners of police, area commanders, and divisional police officers in whose jurisdiction illegal roadblocks are detected will be personally or vicariously held liable, and strict and swift disciplinary actions will be initiated against such officers. I must sound a note of warning here. The new corruption crusade of the force will tackle cognizance of appropriate sections of our criminal laws and hold both the giver and the taker of bribes accountable. Accordingly, much as official corruption will be dealt with in the force, corrupt-minded members of the public are sternly warned to refrain from corrupting the police system, as they will be brought to the justice they equally deserve. Any officer caught, either through whistleblowing framework or direct operations of the enforcement units of the force, will be appropriately dealt with, in line with established disciplinary procedure of the force, and may additionally be prosecuted in the swiftest fashion.
The Acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase. The President-Elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, has appealed to incoming legislators to support his administration to ensure good governance and development. General Buhari, who made the appeal at the induction ceremony for new federal lawmakers, says he is committed to working with the legislators as development partners, motivated by the desire to deliver good governance to Nigerians.
It's rare to see this in Nigeria, a situation where the President-elect would meet with federal legislators from the Senate and the House of Representatives. Retired General Muhammadu Buhari is extending a hand of partnership with the National Assembly to help him in achieving what he says is his vision of making Nigeria great and a role model for Africa and other emerging economies.
I need your support in many respects. The oversight function of the legislature is critical in ensuring that policies are implemented effectively and transparently. Therefore, my mission to bring integrity into governance will better succeed if complemented with a strong culture of transparent oversight. I therefore commit myself to working with the legislature as development partners motivated by the desire to deliver good governance.
The relationship between the executive and the federal legislature has often been a rocky one. One need look no further than the recent standoff between both arms of government over the recent efforts to amend the 1999 Constitution. But could this olive branch offered by the incoming president serve as a departure from what has often been a frosty relationship between both arms of government?
I think it's a very commendable act on the part of the Mr. President-elect, and the visit will serve a purpose of motivating all of us into a good working relationship as the new government comes into operation by the grace of God in the next few weeks.
He has come in here, he has appealed to us that all hands must be on deck. We have given him our assurance, and I think this is the beginning of that change that Nigerians voted for.
With the kind of initiative that the President-elect has taken, and the response of my fellow colleagues, it shows that already the relationship is being cemented, and we need to develop more on it to the betterment of our nation.
Come May 29th, General Buhari would assume office, and he would need the support of the National Assembly to translate some of his policies into laws. This meeting with lawmakers may put him on a right path to achieving his goals. Nimba Kibe, Channels Television News.
Some civil society organizations have joined the debate on the zoning arrangements of National Assembly principal offices. At a news conference in Abuja today, the coordinator of the Justice and Development Consultative Forum, Mr. Elisha Ishaku, says the Northeast deserves to have the position of the Senate President, having delivered the second highest number of votes for the party. He argues that the Northeast has been marginalized in the political equation in the country since the inception of democracy.
The All Progressive Congress has zoned leadership positions in the National Assembly is beginning to generate comments by interest groups. One of such groups, the Justice and Development Consultative Forum, at a news conference in Abuja, demanded that the position of Senate President be zoned to the Northeast.
Northeastern part of this country are agitating for the office of the Senate President to be zoned to them. This is because since 1966 till date, there's nobody from the northeastern axis of this country called Nigeria that has ever been either the Senate President or the Deputy Senate President. We have all been relegated to the background. That is despite the fact that the Northeast has over 1/3 of the Nigerian landmass is in the Northeast.
At a separate news conference, the coalition of Southeast Buhari Oshibajo campaign movement argued that the zone deserves the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
We, the coalition of Southeast Buhari Oshibajo campaign movement, hereby wish to demand that the post of the Speaker of the House of Representatives should be zoned to the Southeast as the leadership of the APC meets to ratify the zoning arrangement. We state categorically that it will be against natural justice, equity, fair play, and principle of federal character for the North to keep the presidency, the Senate President, and at the same time, Speaker of the House of Representatives.
With just few weeks to the inauguration of the new administration of General Muhammadu Buhari, the ability of the All Progressive Congress to pacify its members over their demands will no doubt put the party on trial.
It is a season of agenda setting for the President-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari. A group called the Lower Niger Congress, comprising members from the South-South and the South-East regions of the country, came together in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, calling for a complete review of the 1999 Constitution.
These chants of solidarity by members of the Lower Niger People's Congress sets the tone of this meeting in Port Harcourt. They are here to vent their concerns about the country's political arrangement, which according to them has continued to undermine their relevance in the nation's political history.
It was the agitation for sovereign conference which we had championed more than anybody else. If you go to the website of Lower Niger Congress, you will see no less than 20 videos of recordings of the activities that have spanned over 15 years, in which we say that the Union of Nigeria had to be renegotiated. It was in 2007 that we took the Constitution of Nigeria to court to say that it was a fraud in saying that we the people made it, whereas it was not made by we.
There are those who think an agenda should be set for the incoming administration, insisting corruption should be fought from the roots.
There are more fraud in this country than whatever happens now. So if you come in to say that you want to fight corruption, fine and excellent, we'll go by you, stand by you. But corruption has to start from your in-house. NLPC is not the only institution in Nigeria. Corruption at the local government level, at the state level for the past 16 years nationwide. A lot of people are in PDP and APC or wherever that have served and have stolen funds.
In the build-up to the presidential transition billed for May 29th, the call remains for Nigerians to stand in unity for national progress.
The Federal Executive Council today approved 2 new private universities in the country. They are the Edwin Clark University in Delta State and the Hezekiah University, Umudim in Imo State. President Goodluck Jonathan also swore in 2 new federal commissioners. Briefing State House correspondents after the council meeting, the Minister of Information, Mrs. Patricia Kwashiki, and her national planning counterpart, Mr. Abubakar Sulaiman, said the federal government will not tolerate any unparalleled government by the incoming administration of General Muhammadu Buhari. Meanwhile, the federal government has confirmed the suspension of the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, blaming him for the shoddy manner he handled the issue of xenophobia in South Africa. A Minister of Information, Mrs. Patricia Kwashiki, who briefed State House correspondents on the development, said that President Goodluck Jonathan will not allow any political functionary or civil servant to tarnish the image of the federal government. She was joined by the Minister of National Planning, Dr. Abubakar Sulaiman, who confirmed that diplomacy at that level was not well managed and that investigations are ongoing on the matter. Residents of Abo Ndokwa East local government area of Delta State have cried out for help after the rainstorm of April 9th that wreaked havoc there. The rainstorm has cut off electricity supply from the community and rendered many homeless and without jobs. Tonight's community report takes a look at the plight of the 29 villages affected by the storm.
Etisala, now you're talking.
Houses destroyed and rendered inhabitable, leaving their occupiers homeless. Electricity poles uprooted by a force heavy enough to crush the transformers on which they fell, and farmlands with crops laid to waste are some of the agonizing evidence of the unforgettable windstorm that has left the people of Abo community, the headquarters of Ndokwa East local government area of Delta State, groaning for weeks now. For this trader, untold hardship has indeed been brought down on the people.
Take us around 5 or 6. Now it didn't happen. Now I run the commode, they go house. If I reach the house, my zinc is if my house 2 zinc don't come out. I do outside. But not be say throw away my house, but only 2 zinc and I come out for them. I can't call here, this my shed, they don't throw away. So, now I see since they all pull away there for the house, for this street, not there again, no light, no anything.
A feeling of gloom pervades the area, and recounting the events of that fateful day does nothing to lighten the mood of these community leaders.
The farms, plantain farms, that we have to go. If we are chance to be there, you will see them by yourself. A lot of damages were done on the plantain farms.
About 152 houses were affected. About 62 electric poles and other installations got destroyed. And then you see how some people, they've already started trying to mend up, their buildings because they cannot stay under this season because of the rains and so on.
As I speak to you now, we don't have light from that day up to date. Our people suffer. We can't even make calls effectively. If you want to make call, either your phone is down and all that. People, their source of incomes, like the farmers and all that. Many boats were lost in the river because of the wind blow and all that. So as I speak to you now, many people, they don't know what to lay hands on again.
The response of the local government council authorities, overwhelmed by the magnitude of the devastation, serves only to plunge the people into deeper agony.
The truth is, right now our people are kind of, I would say, devastated because they don't really have anywhere to stay. A lot of them are outside. Some have packed out because the roofs are all off, like you've seen, So far, nothing has been done from the council. The only thing was that we just visited, but we've not been able to do anything because of the state of the councils right now.
A letter has gone to the governor's office A letter has gone to the Commissioner for Special Duties. FEMA has been consulted, and the like.
Let them come in a full force to ameliorate the situations of people and then the conditions of people who are dying in penury.
The windstorm may have been an act of nature, but it was one with traumatizing human effects. Human hands and support are therefore needed to rebuild this community severely ravaged beyond recognition.
When the news at 10 returns, Customs High Command in Central and West Africa to strategize on border management. That's in a moment. Please join us again.